shoot. All right, so you're going to be doing a 2-page layout for this project. Now, we worked in reverse when we did we worked in reverse when we put together this layout for your watercolor portrait, okay? So this is us starting from the beginning for this project. So some of the first requirements are that it's on 2 facing pages. So in your sketchbook, you've got 2 facing pages open up to each other. All right? That's one of the 5 things. All right? Now, I'm not actually going to use this right side today, but I want it there and available. So I'm working on the left side of the 2-page layout. And I want to go over some of the things that need to be there. You need to put your name in the top left corner, first and last name. Now, I know that because we're turning all of this stuff in through Schoology that I'm already going to see that, but at some point if we don't have to turn stuff in through Schoology, I'll need to be able to easily find your name. So the second thing that's part of the setting it up requirements is to have your name there. The third thing is the title. The title of this project is Themed 2-Point Perspective. All right? The fourth and fifth things are a start date and an end date. I'm giving you the start date today. Okay, so the start date for this project is October 30th. Now, the possible end date is going to be next Friday. If you remember, next Friday is going to be one of those you're going to school, but it's remotely days. All right, so I won't actually see you working on Friday. This is a tentative date. If what I see next week is people really working and needing more time, then I will extend this date. So I will be looking at the end date next week and giving it to you. All right? If I see next week that people are done in one day, then it's not going to be next Friday. All right? So I need to see you really working on and putting a lot of detail into this. And that's what I'm going to discuss here in just a minute. Okay? So those are the 5 things. A 2-page layout, your name in the top left, title, themed 2-point perspective, a start date, and a place for the end date. Okay? Now, I'll take this out just a minute here. Okay? So if you can see here, in our layout, we have a section that is requirements, and we have a section for brainstorming. Now, I'm going to zoom in on the requirements here in just a minute. I started with this 3x3 template, and I had more to write, so I just drew it and I extended it, but you could probably go ahead and use the 3x4 template if you need to. Thank you. And then for the brainstorming, I know that in order to describe and truly write down my thoughts for this, that I'm going to need more space. All right? So I kind of moved this 3x4 over to give myself a bigger spot to write in. Okay? So these are the 2 things I'm starting with. So I'm going to zoom in and we're going to talk about the requirements right now. And everybody needs to be writing these down. Okay, the first requirement is that your drawing is done in 2-point perspective. That means that either somewhere on your paper you have 2 vanishing points, or If you want to work more close in and tape your paper down onto a larger piece of paper and have the vanishing points off the edge of the paper, that's fine. But you have to make sure that everything that you're drawing is actually lining up with those two vanishing points. And they have to be the same two vanishing points. You can't have two vanishing points for one box and then two different vanishing points for another box. So this drawing is using the same two vanishing points for the entire drawing. Okay? The second requirement. This drawing must have at least 5 boxes with openings. That means you can see some part of the inside. Okay? When I say at least, if you want to draw 10 boxes, that's fine. There have to be a minimum of 5 boxes. And a minimum of those 5 boxes have to have some kind of opening. So I want to talk just a minute about the openings. In the modern drawing that we finished up yesterday, there were some stairs. Those stairs went into part of the box. I consider that going into part of the box as an opening. There was a notch that was kind of drawn with perspective on the side of one of the boxes. I consider that an opening. A doorway looking like it's going inside and using the vanishing points would be considered an opening. A window would be considered an opening. So there's lots of things you can do that will be considered an opening and looking inside of the box. So there have to be at least 5 of those. The third thing is your media. So media is what you use to create a work of art. In this case, we are going to use colored pencils. So the media is colored pencils. I wouldn't start your sketch in colored pencils. I would start your sketch very lightly using a regular pencil. But once you have laid out your idea, then you're going to start using colored pencils to make it complete and finished. That means both the boxes, the inside of the boxes, everything around the box, everything to the edges of the paper. We don't want this to look like we just shaded some boxes in, we colored some boxes in, and then we left all the rest of the paper blank. I'm going to talk more about that on the 5th step. The 4th one is value. You need to use value. So in the last project we did, we worked with value using just regular pencil and using colored pencil to make forms. So we started with a circle. We started with a drawing of a cube. We started with a cylinder, but then we added value to that to make it really look like it was 3-dimensional. Using 2-point perspective, you are drawing those same kinds of forms. These look a lot like cubes, okay, rectangular prisms. You're going to have to use value to emphasize the 3-dimensionality of these objects. You did that a little bit with the modern building drawing yesterday. Give me just a second. Okay. All right. And lastly, create a unique. This means original. It's your idea. Create a unique theme or scene for your drawing. Think about where it is. What is happening? All right? So I have had several people already say, okay, well, I want to do SpongeBob. Did you invent SpongeBob? No. But could you do a scene that's underwater? Yes. It just can't be from somebody else's idea. All right? So I want it to be unique and original. I don't want you to go out onto the internet and find something that somebody else has done and copy it. I want you to think of your own ideas. I want you to use 2-point perspective and come up with your own ideas. Okay? So that leads us into the brainstorming. All right? So this brainstorming section Yes. Okay, wait, does the, say that again. Uh-huh. Oh, yes. Excellent question. So, let me elaborate on that a little bit more with the brainstorming here. Okay, so the question is, can you do more than just the box? Absolutely. In fact, that is exactly what I'm trying to get at with the create a unique theme or scene. The first 4 things are totally technical things that I'm looking for. They're easy to see. They're either there or they're not there. But the originality in this is what's going to make it really, really interesting to look at. And so as long as you have that minimum number of things in there, you can do anything else. The background can be anything you want it to be. It can be in space. It can be underwater. It could be on the ground. It could be something that nobody's even thought of before. It doesn't have to be something that's actually even real. So I'm going to use an example that we were talking about earlier today. Somebody said they want to draw a marshmallow. And then the person around them said, well, but you can't draw a marshmallow because a marshmallow is not a cube. Why can't a marshmallow be a cube? There's no rule that says a marshmallow can't be a cube. I can make a marshmallow into a cube. And then they said, well, you just find marshmallows in a bag. Well, why can't I find marshmallows someplace else? It's my drawing.
You can find marshmallows in the cube.
Sure. Okay. But then they said, well, okay, so we got to set up a scene. So we got marshmallows that are roasting over a fire. All right, well, I'm Mr. Marshmallow. I'm a cube. I've got to show the inside of a box. I've decided my box is going to look like a marshmallow. I'm going to have a cube-like marshmallow. Okay, so I say, well, what does the inside of the marshmallow look like? Well, marshmallows are soft and squishy and sticky. I said, okay, but a real marshmallow is soft and squishy and sticky. Why does your marshmallow have to be soft and squishy and sticky? Maybe you open up the door to the little marshmallow because we can do whatever we want, and this marshmallow has a door in it. And you see inside of it some little mini marshmallows going, oh my gosh, it's getting hot in here. You can do anything you want with this. It does not have to be real. I'm looking for you to use your imagination here. Now, that being said, I do not want 50 marshmallow drawings over a fire. Okay? I want you to come up with your own idea for this. Okay? So, your assignment and what your job is for today is to, while you're thinking about these requirements here, you are going to brainstorm and write down in as much detail as possible some ideas of what you're going to draw. What is it going to be? What's happening in there? Where is it? Okay? Now, as you do that, the next thing that we do is not going to be coming up with the strategies. Right? So when we laid out our layout before, there's a box for strategies. We're really not going to think about our strategies until we know what we're going to draw. All right? So the first 3 thumbnails, they're going to be using this 3x4 card. All right? You're going to decide to do either a vertical drawing or a horizontal drawing. And so what I want you to start on today and spend Monday doing are your 3 thumbnail sketches that have to do with your ideas. So you've got this list of ideas that you've come up with here in brainstorming. Now you're going to sketch and illustrate one of them. It could be the entire scene. It could be a portion of the scene. And then you're going to make sure that about 25% of it has color. So, for example, This was a sketch that was done for a project last year. Now this happened to be a square project. We were working on a canvas that was literally a square. You guys are going to be working on a piece of paper that is a rectangle. So this finished thumbnail shows the sketch of what I was going to be drawing, and a portion of it is done in colors, planning out the colors that I wanted to use in my painting. All right? So that's what I'm looking for in your 3 sketches here. You're using your brainstormed ideas. You're drawing a small version of your entire idea, or maybe a specific part that you're enlarging, just a detail of your larger idea, and you're adding color. You're coming up with 3 sketches. So the first 3 thumbnails are you planning out 1 or more of your brainstormed ideas and doing 25% of it with color. Planning out what your colors are going to be. All right? Once you have a final idea, we'll talk about strategies Monday. Okay? So your assignment for today, make sure that you have written down these requirements. You're going to start your brainstorming, writing in detail what you want, what your ideas are for a complete 2-dimensional scene. Tell me what's happening, where it is, that kind of stuff. And then you're going to start making your sketches. All right, so get started on that. I will come around and answer questions.